To the collapse experiment. I'm going to be talking about the war on men. There's 3 different cases that have come up recently, and I feel like they're all tied together in their own interesting ways. Now, many of these are several years apart, but in reality, they're really not that different. So, first off, Julian Assange. All right. What was he first accused of? What was the first thing that he was accused of? Oh, he raped a girl that worked at a hotel. And then they go to question the girl, and she's like, no, it was consensual. And then they tried to say, well, it was surprise sex. She kind of sort of didn't. And she's like, no, I like surprises. So yeah, they couldn't get her to file charges or say that it was rape. So while he's on the run, trying to not be extradited to the US, what happens after that? Oh, well, we just want to charge him with espionage. Because that makes sense. So on the bright side, after over a decade of Assange being on the run and fighting to not be extradited to the US, even though he's not a US citizen, the crime in question didn't happen in the US. So what was the final result? Well, they said time served. Oh, so you admit that you basically held him in a prison against his will when he wasn't convicted of a crime. That's not cool at all. I've got some weird fly buzzing around my head. It's annoying the shit out of me. Well, that's going to have to be taken care of. So, on the bright side, Julian Assange is not free. That we can be happy about. Now, the next 2 cases may not be such a good outcome, at least one of them in particular. Next one is a guy named Pisker. And this guy, he was a comic book writer, an artist. Who was accused not that long ago of having inappropriate conversations, relationships with 2 women. One of them, he was messaging back in 2020, and according to his side of the story, it was her contacting him, wanting to know about the comic book industry. They had some conversations, nothing inappropriate happened, blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, later, the accusations came out that, oh no, it wasn't just that. Oh, what is scurrying over there? The second person who made accusations after the first one came out, said that, oh yeah, he said that if I just, gave him a little, knobbing the slob, slobbing the, you know what I'm saying, then he might give her information on how to get in touch with his agent so that she can get into the industry. Now, what he says, and that was her version of the events, what he says is that they had actual sex twice, that she initiated both times, there wasn't any type of like quid pro quo with it, as she's saying, and he didn't really think anything of it, other than this is like a revenge thing because she's a woman trying to get into comics, and I don't know. Perhaps she thought that she was going to have an easy way in because he had an easy way in, if you know what I mean. Now, the thing with this guy is that he ended up losing everything because of accusations. No charges filed, no lawyers, no lawsuit. It was people talking on the internet, and he lost a $75,000 deal with turning one of his comics into a cartoon, which is a big freaking deal when you're a comic artist / writer, because it's not the 90s anymore, and they're not making a shit ton of money. So did this guy do anything wrong? I have no idea. It doesn't seem like it. Plus, the initial person who was making accusations on what was said or what happened during these creepy conversations, I love how subjective the term creepy is. It's basically, well, I didn't really like it at the time, but I didn't say anything. That's creepy to a lot of people. Sounds like you just have low self-esteem. But there was no evidence brought forth, nothing more of like the messages themselves. So she said, he said is what all that came down to, and they ruined his life, and so he took his own life. Just not uncommon these days. All right, so case number 3, the one that everybody's talking about, Dr. Disrespect. What do you expect from a guy who calls himself Dr. Disrespect? And no, I'm not going along with the whole, well, he's guilty because he admitted it. What exactly did he admit to? So I read the same thing that everybody else has read. And the one thing that they like to focus on is, yeah, I did talk to this chick. Okay, so he talked to a girl. Oh no, help. She was under 18. Did he know that? It's called the internet. The last person I know that thought he was talking to a chick turned out to be a dude who worked for the FBI. Ask Scott Ritter about it. So yeah, the internet, where people are messaging back and forth. Nobody really knows who they're talking to. And the thing with Dr. Disrespect is that, yeah, all of his arguments are pretty solid when it comes to whether or not he did anything wrong or illegal. This fucking fly is back. Apologies. We've had a ton of rain, which means we have a ton of bugs. And these things are overly aggressive this time of year, because they're doing all their humping and egg laying and so where was I? Yeah, everything that Dr. Disrespect stated on what happened as to him being let go from his own company that he started seems legit. The accusations themselves, now, there's several people who are in the wrong here. Dr. Disrespect possibly included, right? His company said, well, these messages took place in 2017. You got rid of him in 2020. So were you just saving this for when the time was right? Did you contact the authorities? Did you, like, what's the scoop here? 3 years? You think he did something so horribly bad that he had to be let go? Then, of course, he talks to a lawyer and he ends up getting his entire contract paid off. So who is in the wrong here? Well, according to the court, it wasn't Dr. Disrespect. Yeah. So then 2020 happens, and it takes these reporters and people who are breaking their end of the non-disclosure agreement 4 years? 4 years for them to come out and say, look, I know the real reason why he was let go, and it's not good. So you held on to this information for 4 years, and then to top it off, you're trying to profit off of the information by, hey, come to my concert and I'll tell you why he got fired. Doesn't sound fucking shady at all, does it? So what is the lesson here? Well, if you screw up, you might get a big payout? No, that's not it. No, the lesson here for most men, most normal, everyday working men who don't want to deal with this shit, who don't want to have text messages coming back to bite them in the ass, who don't want hookups, I guess, coming back to bite them in the ass. What is the lesson? Don't talk to women. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. First chance they get, they will stab you in the back. If you're married to them, they'll try to take half of your shit and more. And yeah. And there's no right answer for anything, ever, at all. And yet you have these women running around going, where are all the men at? I'm not saying where's all the good men at. Some of them do. But when they're saying where's all the good men at, it's because they've been used and abused by so many of the bad men that they should have known better not to fuck around with. And now they're just like, I think I'm ready to settle down. Oh shit, I'm almost 40. So yeah. And what exactly happened? None of these guys had a good outcome. One lost over a decade of his life. And it was with the hopes that he would end up self-deleting himself like the second guy, who ended up self-deleting himself. Because he felt like his life was over and that two women ruined his life, and one was just a very vindictive bitch. That's entirely accurate. The question that everybody at DC Comics should be asking themselves right now, you know who I'm referring to. They can't fire this chick. The fact that she was sleeping with this dude in hopes of getting into the industry, what the fuck did you think that she did in order to get into DC Comics? You can't even submit shit to them unless you've got an agent, and getting an agent is not an easy thing. It's a catch-22. Agents want somebody who's established and has a reputation for producing good work. In order for you to have a good reputation and produce good work means that you're already working and you already have an agent. So yeah, I bet you if the question ever came up as to should we fire fill in the blank, this chick, there's going to be a bunch of hands going up going, whoa. Can we reconsider this? Because I have a feeling my life would be over. Yeah. He's not going to be the first person that she does this to, and he's not going to be the last. Like I said, she ends up let go, or she gets put on a project that goes bad and they end up actually blaming her for fucking it up. Guess what? Yeah, she's going to drop some more names on things of what has happened and then try to push the blame on them because they're like, well, they're just upset because blah, 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 blah. Oh, did I mention he's married? Yeah, that's what's going to end up happening. Mark my words. So yeah, at the end of the day, and this is something I'm sure my coworkers have noticed, I don't talk to anybody unless they initiate the conversation. It's really short. I don't even try to look at anybody. Because heaven forbid somebody goes to the boss and says, I feel uncomfortable around so-and-so. Because that's a thing too. Oh, what did they do? I don't know. I just feel like every time he's around. Yeah. This is why we need dude-only workplaces, dude-only gyms, dude-only workplaces. Because heaven forbid there's a dude around that makes somebody feel uncomfortable. On the bright side with Julian Assange, at least she admitted that she liked the surprise sex. That was a win on his part. Because holy crap. So glad that thing fell through. On the downside, and this is the last thing I'll end on. Yeah, part of him being released and time served involved him removing all the stolen DNC documents that prove that there is a child sex ring in our political system. Gee, I wonder why they'd want that to disappear. Keep on typing.